the point that I was trying to articulate before I got cut off is that these large corporations that own the media are so out of touch with the individual public. They do not sleep in the same communities that their audience does. They don't go to the same restaurants, the same places of worship. And that's why the 1996 Telecommunications Act needs to be looked at. We need to limit large corporations being able to buy up all of these mom and pop companies. That way we can have a more diverse conversation. But now that that is out of the way, the danger in this is the non-productive conversation. And that is what galvanized me into this video. All over Facebook, as I like to call it, YouTube, Twitter, all of the social media, the dialogue is not about opening up possible solutions to the problem, but did Trump say, and I stand corrected, it was Lysol. So I just don't watch this shit. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't give a shit about what somebody says or the way they look. I want the fucking country to reopen in certain areas. I want people to get healed. I care about the data, the policy, the numbers, the substance. Everything else is just pageantry. It's just a play. So I did not know because I don't give a shit whether he said it or whether he didn't. And I frankly don't know, don't care. I'm just trying to figure out when is my state reopening and what are the guidelines, what businesses are reopening, and so on and so forth. All over social media, it's did he say this, did he say that? That creates a non-productive conversation. Instead of coming together during this crisis like we did during World War II, like we did after 9/11, and rally behind our leaders, because whether you like him or not, he's our leader right now. Rallying behind the doctors, rallying behind people to find solutions, coming together as Americans, we're worried about what someone said. Because the media, the demons from hell, would rather the economy crash simply because their puppet is not in there. And that's the way they think. And understanding that, being conscious of that, just understand those people don't have your best interest in mind. Instead of wasting your time listening to those fuckers, I mean, you don't want to be totally ignorant of what's going on around you, but look at the policy. Look at the bills. Look at what the Federal Reserve is doing. Look at the oil tankers that are just totally, no joke. They're literally not even moving. Oil was inside of these tankers and these pipelines. It costs money to store these things. And because the demand for oil is so low, people just stopped. But look at what is actually happening. Look at your own communities. Look at the actual results. And then when you assess what is going on around you, you'll be more educated and your mind will be programmed to look for a solution. And then when you're talking to somebody, if they say something like, what do you think about Trump's comment? Say, I'm not aware of what it is, but does that comment have anything to do with a policy that's going to get me back to work? Because regardless of race, religion, political party, geographic region, all of us want to get back to work. But we also want to stay safe, and we also want to keep the most vulnerable people safe. How can we begin that process? And that's by dialogue. That's by discussion. That's by brainstorming ideas. I've noticed when I have a dialogue with somebody, that's when my wheels start turning. You feed off one another's energy, And instead of 21 billion neurons in your cerebral cortex, you have 41 billion neurons and synapses all firing at once to come up with solutions, regardless of who's in office. And that's all I'm saying. We got to have more productive dialogues. We got to come together. We got to get certain areas open, or 30 million people are going to die in the third world. The London Guardian talked about it a few days ago. Or you're going to have global supply chains shut down. New York Times talked about that. That's why we need certain regions to open up and certain other regions to stay in and flatten the curve. Let's get that conversation going. And fuck what somebody says, because that has no effect on us.